Uniquely Asheville with Rachel Holt is sponsored by Explore Asheville.
Asheville, North Carolina is a destination where creative minds come together, whether crafting the next delicious beer, working on a new painting, or serving up an innovative dish. But for many, the highlight is the music. In this city, you can find it everywhere, in restaurants, cafes, even spilling out into the streets. A blend of tunes influenced by the Blue Ridge Mountain style and history, and artists trying something completely new.
I'm Rachel Holt, and today we're checking out Citizen Vinyl, one of many outlets for this city's creative community, to hear what sets it apart from the rest. What a neat space you have here, Citizen Vinyl. It's like taking a step back in time almost when you walk in. What was the story behind this?
This is the historic Citizen Times newspaper building here in downtown Asheville. It was built in 1939, and we're here in this beautiful recording studio that was once the WWNC historic radio station studio here in town. There's a lot of history of Asheville and a lot of convergence of our creative community takes place right here in this building at Citizen Vinyl.
What should visitors know about Asheville's music scene?
Asheville has a very long-standing history of music. Many well-known artists in the 20s and 30s had their national radio premieres right here out of this very room. There's so much inspiration baked into what happened in this room. We like to use that as a way to continue to cultivate and create new material and to keep that tradition of creativity and musicianship alive and well here in Asheville.
How are you hoping to preserve that history, especially when it comes to the music scene here in Asheville?
We fashion ourselves as a cultural landmark here in downtown Asheville, and we do a lot of programming here that supports the local music community, and we also host a number of touring artists that are coming through town. We actually press many of their records too.
And what's really fun is there's a viewing window so people coming in can see this whole process at work.
Asheville is known as a craft community, and we're lucky enough to attract a lot of people who come to Asheville looking for experiences where they can see how things are made, whether it's glass blowing or throwing pottery, and now making records.
If you're visiting this area, what do we need to know in terms of listening to music and finding the good spots to go?
Asheville has so many great music venues. There's no shortage of live music if you're visiting Asheville. Not only our more established music venues, but many of the bars and restaurants also feature local musicians and touring artists as well.
So this is the manufacturing facility where all the record pressing happens. How does this work?
This is a record press right here. It's going to apply steam, water, and pressure in order to be able to make a record. But we have to start off from scratch. And so scratch is going to be, this little stuff right here is virgin black material. It's going to run through this extruder at about 260 to 280 degrees. And then what we're going to do is push that through into this mold cup to be able to make what we call a puck or a cape. So this is the puck right here. You just lift underneath there, and there you go.
Okay.
A little warm.
Nice and warm.
Yeah. So what we're going to do from there is we're going to take one of those labels, pop it onto the machine. You'll pop that onto the machine now, and then pop one more label on the top. We'll go ahead and hit that start button over here on the machine. And you can take a step back and kind of watch the magic.
This is cool.
So what's basically happening now is steam is going into the machine as pressure is applied to be able to melt the PVC out and to be able to fill in every single groove that's on what we call stampers on the machine. From there, it's going to send coolant. I think it's doing the water cycle right now. That's going to harden the record so that you got a nice stiff record. We can reach in here, unapply it from there.
There's our record.
That is a record. We're going to pop it onto the trimmer. And all that excess is what we call flashing. Go ahead and hit start. We're going to go ahead and trim all that off.
That was quick.
Yeah.
And there's music on here.
There is music on there right now, yeah.
What kind of music are we playing today?
Just some jam rock.
Jam rock,
yeah.
I like it. That was awesome.
Yeah.
For more on Asheville's music scene and other unique things to do, visit exploreasheville.com. AshevilleNews.com.
Uniquely Asheville with Rachel Holt is sponsored by Explore Asheville.